Well, joining us right now on the Comcast Business Hotline is a TV voice of Kate Scott. Also does so many other play-by-plays. A pioneer in the industry. Also going to be doing the World Cup. Kate Scott on the Comcast Business Hotline. How are you today, Kate?
Oh, I'm exhausted, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you all doing? Thanks for having me on this episode.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Let's look at this Sixers season. Obviously, none of us expected at the start of the season that we would already be done playing basketball. It took a turn. They were never really healthy. We find out that Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, and Nick Nurse will all be back. You were down there. You saw everything that happened. Do you think it was the right move in your opinion? They may add to the front office. They may change some of the assistant coaches. But do you think it was the right move and a smart move to keep Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, and Nick Nurse in the positions they currently hold?
Well, I think anybody who's watched any sport, Tyrone, knows that what the Sixers went through this season was absolutely unprecedented. I mean, when we were getting up to the high 40s and then got into the 50s when it came to different starting lineups used in an 82-game season, I think that's when we all knew this is unprecedented. And then when we hit 54 last week, which is the most starting lineups that any NBA team has used since the 1970s, and you think of all the different teams that have played and how many seasons we have had in this league since then, I think it's factual to say that this was an absolutely unprecedented season of hardship and difficulty in Philadelphia. And I completely understand everybody wanting to blame that on somebody. I totally get that, especially fans, who paid money to come and see those games and be disappointed because, as you mentioned, the expectations were much different than the reality of the season. But I have always been a long journey type of person. I understand anger, and I understand all the emotions we are going through because I'm going through them too. But I think that coming into last season, which it's easy to forget because of everything we all went through the past 9 months, we all thought and hoped that we would be one of the best teams in the NBA, and we never got to see that because the three guys that this whole thing was based around played 15 games together, and they finished 12 of them. So, again, I understand the people who are saying, no, get rid of everybody, let's start fresh again. I personally haven't seen enough of what we all hope to see this year to jump to that yet. So I understand all the emotions today, Tyrone, but I'm glad what I heard after the game yesterday and before from PG and Tyrese and a couple other guys as well, because I don't think any of us have really seen what this could potentially be. So because of that, I think it'd be too early to get rid of a lot of folks.
Well, obviously, I mean, you think about the off season, and you pick up Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond. How about Kyle Lowry? All these veterans that were supposed to step up. There probably will be a different path for Daryl Morey next year, correct?
Yeah, no, I mean, he said that after the game, Ricky, yesterday, and I think that is one of the things you have to do in any position when you're in leadership. You go for it, and I know I can't speak for you guys, but I know a lot of other folks coming into last season. We were like, dude, we got all the best pieces. Everybody wanted Paul George, got him. Caleb Martin, what a stopper and a three-point shooter he has been in the postseason. He could have been the Eastern Conference Finals MVP a couple of years ago. We got him. Like, this is awesome. And then nobody was healthy, right? Andre Drummond, we got the perfect backup if and when Joel goes down. Andre goes down. So coming into last season, we thought we made all the right moves. And obviously, this season proved that maybe those were the right moves, but that's no longer the case. So how do you learn from what now look to be potentially wrong choices? And how do you get better from that? And I think Daryl said stuff yesterday after the game already. Okay, this worked in years past. The league's obviously changing. So we need to get younger, and we need to get faster, and we need to change the way we're thinking about stuff, which I thought was, again, pretty impressive for somebody who is used to a lot of executives just digging in their heels and saying, well, it was just injuries, and not reflecting at all on, okay, maybe what we did and what we thought was right wasn't. So let's pivot. Let's learn from this really awful experience and immediately put this learning into action and get better next season.
We're speaking with Kay Scott. She does a tremendous job as the play-by-play voice of the Sixers and a pioneer in this industry. Let me ask you about Joel Embiid. There are some people who have a lot of anger towards Joel Embiid due to his injuries, including some people that work at this radio station. You're down there, you're around him, people that are very angry at him. When you hear them say that he really, when you hear some of his teammates, when you hear the executives, when you hear the coach say that he wants to be out there, that he's doing everything he can, that they're optimistic after his surgery, there's always going to be there's also that other side that says, I don't believe it, he's always hurt, he doesn't care, the Olympics, you hear all that. What do you think of Joel Embiid right now, given the circumstances, and do you believe he did everything he could to get out there, and do you think he can get back out there at least to start the season post this latest surgery?
Well, getting back, Tyrone, to what I said for your first question, I understand everybody's emotions because I think everybody has a reason to feel the way that they're feeling. Everybody who's upset, I get that. Everybody who's hopeful, I get that as well. I'm not personally close enough to Joel to be able to answer what you just said, about is he coming back? Is he going to be ready? All I can believe is what all of us know and what all of us are hearing, that he had another surgery last week, that it went well, that he's in good spirits and wants to rehab like crazy this offseason and get back to it. So I am taking that all at face value and hoping that is the case, because I think we've all seen him when he plays at his best, which was some days it feels like years ago, and other days you realize it was just a year and a half ago when he was one of, if not the best player in the NBA. And we were all thinking, holy cats, like this guy might not just be one of the best now. He might be one of the best to ever play this game. He's doing things that we have never seen anybody else do. And I think, again, it gets back to that word expectation that we started out with as well. If we hadn't seen that a couple years ago, it probably wouldn't hurt so bad and be so emotionally charged right now, right? If we hadn't seen how great it could be, it wouldn't have been so difficult and challenging for us all to go through this season. So, yeah, I'm in the hopeful camp. You guys know that I'm almost all the time a positive, hopeful person, and I'm going to stick to that just because, man, what we saw a couple years ago was some of the greatest athleticism I have ever seen in my entire career. And I would love for all of us to get to experience that again. But at the same time, I understand people who are frustrated and upset and wanting to be done with Embiid here in Philly, because it has been really frustrating and upsetting to see somebody so talented be injured so many times. And I just want to finish with, I also know that nobody is more frustrated than the guy himself who's going through it, and that's Joel, because can you imagine having that much talent and only getting to show it from time to time? I can only imagine how frustrating that would be.
I got to ask you, it's kind of a two-part question. Number one, when did you realize, like, the season was a disaster? How far in? And then, because we know all the bad, what positive came out of this?
Yeah. No, those are great questions, Ricky. And again, getting back to my positive and hopefulness at all times, I think it took me a little while longer than Ala and some others, just because I was always thinking to myself, this has got to be the last injury. Like, okay, this has got to be it. Like, Tyrese is not going to get injured again. He had to deal with something at the beginning of the season. Okay, Paul did something in the preseason. He's not. Okay, hurt his knee again. Okay, well, that's going to be it for Paul. Like, I'm always such a hopeful person that probably early February is when I realized, like, okay, yeah, it's the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I'm sure some of us old heads remember that book from when we were little. And this is just, this is what it's going to be this season. So it took me a while. But after yesterday's game, we were wrapping a little bit on NBC Sports Philly. And I think there's a lot of positive things to take out of the season. And I say that knowing that there's probably some people who are turning off their radios right now with me even saying that. But, like, let's look to Jared McCain. Maybe the steal of last year's draft. I mean, I think that he was going to be the runaway rookie of the year if he would have stayed healthy in early February. We saw all the guys in the last month who were probably going to win it. Castle down in San Antonio and Starr in Washington and Reese Shea in Atlanta. Jared was balling out better than all of them. Adem Bona, I thought maybe I was going to see him 5 or 6 times this year. I thought he was going to play the majority of the season in Delaware because Andre Drummond was going to take up the majority of the big men minutes, and then probably Gershon was going to fill in for him. And then all of a sudden we got to see Adem Bona, and he was looking great the last month of the season because he got thrown into the fire. Justin Edwards, like undrafted rookie, and all of a sudden this guy is starting 20-plus games and looking like he belongs. And the Sixers didn't even have to spend a draft pick on him. And then obviously I know you guys have been talking Quentin Grimes. Other than Luka, maybe the steal of the trade deadline, I mean, Gershon has been incredible. Who knows if he comes back? I thought Kelly making the change that Oubre did in the middle of the season was remarkable to take the critique from his coaches and shift his game. I mean, Kelly was huge when everybody started to go down. So I think that in all of this darkness, there was a tremendous amount of positive. And the biggest thing is that the first 3 guys I named are all really young. And then you tie that in with Tyrese Maxey, who it's easy to forget took an incredible leap on the defensive end. And if he's one of, if not our main leader in the years to come, man, there's going to be a lot to look forward to here in Philly.
Well, Kate, congratulations on a great season. You guys kept it entertaining all year long, even when some of the games weren't. You did a tremendous job all year. We appreciate you spending some time with us, and hopefully you get a little rest now. A little bit.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. And shout out to all of our Sixers fans, because I know this was the hardest of hard seasons. And all year long, Tyrone, people were still reaching out saying, we're watching, we love you guys, keep it going. So Sixers fans, we appreciate all of you and look forward to hopefully having a lot more winning, fun basketball next season. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, thanks so much. That was Kate Scott, the Comcast Business Hotline. She is right. There's some young players that did some things. The key thing is none of it works without everybody back. But I'm telling you, anybody that's going to be trying to spin this, you can trade Embiid and Paul George and get something back. No. That's why Kate was talking about building around those guys, or hopefully them being healthier, because that's your only chance in the short term. There is no other path otherwise. There's no other path. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want more of this content, make sure you like and subscribe. And you know you can do that kind of over here if you want more of the best show ever.